Questions for Joe?
Jrue was in rough shape today, pretty sick, late decision. How did you manage him throughout the night, and just what did you think of the way that he was able to step up at the very end and make the big plays?
We had him at 38 minutes, which is probably less, but I didn't really manage him that much. I kind of trust him. He's always ready to play. I knew he was going to play just because I have faith and trust in him, and I thought he just played a really good game. That's a trademark steal that he always gets with the inside hand. He gets that a lot usually when the guy's coming down the sideline, but he got it in transition. So I've been looking forward to a couple of those. He hasn't gotten as many as I would like him to have gotten this year. But he made a big time play.
Joe, what did you see in that execution down the stretch as opposed to earlier in the game where you couldn't cut into the lead and
I never thought we couldn't cut in the lead because of our offense. I thought we couldn't cut in the lead because of our defense. And so I liked our execution throughout the game. Our shot quality at halftime was like 1.22. Their shot quality was like 1.12, but we just couldn't get a stop in the way that we needed to. We couldn't. It took us a little while to figure out what they were, took us a little while to figure out how we were going to match up with them in order to slow them down and put us in the best position. Without Halliburton, they went to some of the different stuff and they had a lot of speed. So I never felt like it was our offense. I felt like it was our defense, and I thought we took it to another level in the second half.
And so down the stretch, did you see it was more defensive fueled? Or?
Down the stretch, I thought we executed defensively and offensively. We made the right play at the rim, extra pass, good screening. I thought there was a high-level execution on both ends of the floor, especially in the fourth quarter. But the thing I liked the most was just, we talk about all the time, like it takes what it takes, and every game's going to be different. And I felt like in the first half it kind of caught us by surprise that we were down by that much. When I was like, I kind of told them, like, fellas, it's going to happen. Like, it might not be the last time we're down by double digits. So I liked the way we handled that, and it was just a test of mindset and toughness, and I thought the guys came through big time.
Joe, just to follow that up, what did you see down the stretch particularly about your execution and about that mindset that pleased you the most?
Once we embraced the fact that we were down double digits on the road in a Game 3 against Indiana, I thought it was pretty fun. And so I loved just the approach that we took. I loved the mindset that we had. I thought we executed well on both ends of the floor. We made the plays that were necessary to win. And that's how games are going to go. So you have to be able to win in different ways. You have to be able to get through certain stuff. And I thought our guys did a great job getting through it.
Joe, the behind-the-back pass for the game winner to Al or the go-ahead is going to get all the attention. But throughout the game, that pick and pop, it seems like Jayson's so comfortable holding and finding him. Have you seen them developing that throughout the last couple of years? Is there things in practice, or is that just like rep and rep after a game that kind of develops that chemistry?
That should get there's a lot of plays that should get of attention from multiple guys, but just our offensive execution in general was good, and our pick and roll execution was good. I thought guys made the right play at certain times, whether to drive it, whether to pass it, one mores. And so I thought even when we had some empty possessions where, we got a couple shot clock violations, I thought we were playing with the right intentions, looking to make the right play, and that's the most important thing.
I think they've shot over 60% from two throughout the series. I don't know where it explicitly ended up tonight. What of the things that they have been doing in that area in particular that have given you guys trouble through these first three games?
I like to differentiate the 2-point field goal percentage that were long twos versus transition twos versus layups versus paint twos. And so that 60% can be a little misleading. Because some of the 2-pointers we have to live with because they're good at the other stuff, especially with Halliburton. So we got to break that number down and figure it out. Obviously, the transition twos are layups, so you got to fix that with your turnovers and your offense and not getting cross-matched. The layups in the half court you fix by your shift activity. The non-paint long twos you don't fix nearly as much. But they do a really good job of fighting to get the ball lower and lower, which makes it harder to switch. And they do a really good job of counteracting our ball pressure by getting it low. Like first drive, and the second drive gets a little bit lower. By the time you get to the third drive, it's really hard to switch that, and then they end up already having a foot in the paint. So in the first half, we didn't have great ball pressure, and they were able to get it lower, lower, lower. In the second half, we picked up our ball pressure, and they couldn't get it as low as they wanted to, and we had better shifts.
In addition to the ball pressure, you said you found some things that you liked as the game went on in terms of matching up with them. What were some of those things that you liked as it went?
I can't tell you that, but I know we found them.
That was a try.
Joe, just the performance of Al Horford, who just keeps churning away mentally, physically, and what he did tonight.
Poise. Like I said, I felt like even when it wasn't going well for us, which we have to expect that it's not at times, we just kind of stayed right there. And Al's kind of the anchor to that. But I think tonight it was everybody. Everyone just kind of stayed there. And, when we got it to like 10, being down 10 on the road in a playoff game should not be anything other than like normalcy. And so we just had to normalize it. We had to normalize the situation we were in, and Al's poise and leadership, and I think everybody showed that as well.
Joe, you went with Xavier there for a little bit, first time in this series. What do you feel like he gave you guys, particularly on the defensive end there in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, his ability, he's a great screener. He creates separation. And he has the gift defensively to be able to play both in drop and switch. And so we were able to change our coverages when he was out there pretty frequently. He can guard different matchups because of his ability to play in drop and in switch. And so he just gave us some versatility, and I really appreciate with what he's going through right now. Just him even being here, and then the ability to call on him and him deliver for us just says a lot about who he is as a person. So I appreciate him for that.
It felt like, especially down the stretch, like there was just a different level of physicality on defense with you guys, more of resistance. I mean, you talk about that's kind of what separates at this level. What did you see, and what was kind of behind it?
That our ball pressure stayed consistent, and then when we picked them up, they couldn't get it lower and lower and lower. And so, like, they still got it to where they want a little bit, but we gave, like you said, we had more resistance defensively. We had better shift activity defensively. And, we were just able to kind of do both. They test you with their dribble drive. It's really hard because their spacing is not predictable. And so you never know what type of space you're going to be in, so you don't know where the shift is going to come in from. So it's a real, like, the guys did a great job communicating matchups, coverages. We went zone. But, like, once we were able to figure out the frequency to kind of slow them down a little bit, the guys really executed.
Joe, you talked about being caught by surprise that you're down double digits, embracing that you're down double digits. Can you explain, like, before you embrace it, what does that look like, and after you embrace that, like, what's that process?
I think you get caught up when you're down. You're just kind of like, shit, we're down. Or we're down, or nothing's going our way, or such and such. Like, it wasn't as bad as it felt for me personally. Like, as I'm processing the game, I was like, this feels a lot worse than it actually is. We just got to tweak a couple things, and once we get it, we'll chip away at it. And so once you get out of the mindset of focusing on what's happened, and you get in the mindset of focusing on what needs to happen, then you can just kind of make the shift. And I thought the guys did a really good job of that. But, like, at one point, I was like, look at the scoreboard. I was like, fellas, like, look at the scoreboard. Like, Dallas was down 18 last night. Like, this has to be normal. We have to know that we're going to be losing in the playoffs at some point, that we have to play through it. And the only way you play through it is by being in it. And so I thought the guys did a great job staying present in it.
I'm curious, the very last play, had you ever seen that formation that they came out with before?
Yeah, it's a really good play. I think Miami runs it. I know Indiana runs it. It's unpredictable. So we had a game plan. We were looking to execute our need 3 defense in some capacity, but just like their half court offense, no idea if that was if it was reads, but that was definitely hard to guard. They got a good shot off. Some of it is luck too. Like, we'd all sit here and say, like, that shot goes in, we're having a completely different conversation. So not necessarily luck, but, like, you need stuff to go your way sometimes. So.
You're talking about feeling calm throughout that whole process during the game. You took more than twice as many threes as they did. And you had a few sections where you missed a ton of open threes. You guys kept firing. Al, JT have both been shooting poorly a lot, and they kept firing, and they eventually came out on top. How does, like, that three-point volume discrepancy help you feel calm?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, like, we didn't go into the game saying we have to double them up at the three-point line. We came to the game saying, like, you got to take the best shots possible. And so we did a great job in the second half, and really most of the game, of just taking the shot that was available there. If you break down the defense and they're taking away the rim and there's a 2-on-1, you have to make that play. And so I thought we just kept chipping away by taking the right shot every single time, whether it was a 3, whether it was a layup. And when you do that over the course of possession, I think it gives you a chance to get back into a game, and I thought the guys did that.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Come on. You sit right here.
Jrue, I'm angry with myself. I didn't ask you on the floor. How sick were you this morning? What were you feeling, and how did it feel out there on the floor tonight?
Yeah, I didn't feel too well, but I guess I just figured if I got a good day's rest or try to sleep through it, that would help me for tonight. But it's Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final, so I wasn't going to miss this game.
You've always been an elite defensive player for a long time. Could you kind of walk us through that final play there against Emhart and sort of what you saw and how that play all developed?
I think I just made a play. I feel like he's a right-hand driver, and he's been very, very aggressive all night. Great player, had a great game, but just made a play. I kind of jumped his right hand and got the steal.
And you think you guys closed the game with a 13-2 run. Obviously, you were trying to fight back most of the second half. What allowed you guys to sort of lock in there for those final couple minutes?
Man, it was definitely a team effort. I think from being down 18, we knew that we can lock in defensively and be better, and it showed. But it was definitely a team effort.
This whole year, offensively, a lot of big moments. You spend them in spacing to the corner. You're in the dunker spot. You had this big opportunity to drive, and you just went straight at Siakam. What were you thinking in that moment? And did you feel like this was a moment where it's like, I got to step in and actually do something here?
I think I just saw a chance and took an opportunity. I felt like he was on his heels. He wasn't really expecting me to attack downhill, so I attacked him and just tried to be aggressive and got the and one. But it wasn't anything like it wasn't anything. Just me being aggressive.
And then Joe said that as far as managing you being sick and all that, he's like, I trust Jrue. How has Joe's trust in you helped you kind of find your footing with this team and figure out how you can be yourself here?
Yeah, it means a lot. Just the trust that he gives me and allows me to be myself is great. It's challenging me to be a better player and a better teammate. So it's been great, and I feel like it shows out there on the court.
Al and Joe were talking about like all the different things that you guys were trying to do to get through like that second quarter. They were shooting like 70%. What was that like that process of trying to find what works, going through zone and all these different things and then settling on something that finally clicked?
I think that's a testament to our season. Our season, we've switched up so many times and done so many different things against everybody in the league that we really feel like we became good at a lot of different defenses. So I think when we switched to zone, it threw them off a little bit, or if we were switching or if we weren't switching. If I was on Miles Turner or putting Al on TJ McConnell, we definitely did our best to try to kind of switch it up on them and make them feel uncomfortable. So I definitely think that's a testament to what we did during the season, and then being able to lock in the playoffs was big.
Dade locked in through the ice machine. There's no one back there. This is just your second trip to the Eastern Conference Finals. How special are these moments?
It's definitely a blessing. I don't take this for granted at all. It's my 15th season, so to go to it twice, I know like JT and JB have been here too many times, but this is my second time, so I'm here and I'm appreciative, and I'm gonna do what I can to get through this series.
And then, do you feel like you're playing the best basketball you've played this season now?
I think I'm in a groove. I thought that I was in the groove too during the season at times where shot the ball well, got to the corner playing the dunker, but I think times like this, our team really just comes together and we elevate each other and make each other so much better.
Jrue, from what you bring to the game and how you play defense, what do you make of what TJ McConnell's done on the other side of this matchup?
TJ's been great. He's been a load for us. Obviously, with our scouting and all that, we focus on TJ a lot. We feel like he is the head of the snake, especially in that second group. I think to be able to come off the bench and score 16 points or whatever it is and bring the energy that he brings is huge for their team, and he's been doing it all season.
Last question, Joe.
Jrue, first of all, how are you feeling now, and what were you dealing with today?
I'm all right. A little fever here and there. Slept a lot, but I feel pretty good.
And then on the play, the steal on Nembhard, Rick wanted a foul there. He was pretty adamant, and obviously you would disagree. But could you explain why that's a clean play?
I guess from my perspective, I thought I beat him to the spot. If anything, we were chest to chest. So, and then the ball was out, and it was kind of just like a little tap with my left hand. So, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have to go look at it again. But I don't really think there was that much contact. But everything happened so fast, So.
Thank you, Drew.
All right, guys. Come on.
Al, what enabled you guys to pull off that comeback tonight as far as what you guys were able to do? When did you start to feel it, and what did it take down the stretch to pull that out?
First of all, for me, it's the glory to the Lord for giving me this opportunity, putting me in this position. And for us, it was just poise. We were down, obviously big, but the biggest thing that we understood was that we needed to continue to play, continue to trust each other, and I felt like we had opportunities early in the fourth to kind of take over. We had really good looks, end of the third, and we just couldn't get it done. And I give this group a lot of credit for continuing to stay with it, despite us not making shots when we had those opportunities.
That three-pointer from the corner where Jayson drove, kind of drew three defenders and threw the bounce pass behind his back to you. Can you just take us through that play and what kind of vision it takes from him to see that and then put it exactly where you needed it?
Yeah, I know, it's pretty special. He drove to the basket. He felt like he had a lane, and then I don't know how he got it there, and he had to improvise, and he just continued to make time after time the right play, and that was an unbelievable play that he made. And at that point, for me, it was just, take my time and knock it down.
Al, you talk about the poise and mental strength to kind of come back there at the end, but how do you maintain that when the Pacers had shot so well? They hit everything against you guys, and on top of that, the shots weren't falling for most of the guys. That combination usually doesn't lead to a good result. How do you guys keep your heads about you to make that final kick?
The biggest thing for us was to, we understood it was going to be very difficult here. They were undefeated here at home. I don't think they've lost here since, March 20th or something like that? 18th. They've been playing really well, and we understood the challenge. And T.J. McConnell, such a good player. His energy in Nembhard was unbelievable today as well. And they brought it. They kept bringing it. And for us, my whole thing was like, let's just keep playing. Let's just keep playing. Let's stay with it. I feel like Joe was trying to do everything and anything that he could to kind of get us going, and it was hard. And it's hard to win on the road. And I give the group a lot of credit because, to your point, when those things don't happen for us in the past, it hasn't been good. But our group, understands the opportunity we have in front of us, and we really wanted to give ourselves the best chance tonight, and we didn't waver. We just continued to play on.
Al, tonight you became the oldest player in NBA history to hit 7 3-pointers in an NBA playoff game. What does that mean to you to be able to do this for so long, especially considering you weren't a three-point shooter for so much of your career?
For me, it's just I've been, very blessed to still be in this position, to be able to play at this type of level, to be a part of a team like the Celtics, and really, making sure that, that I'm, doing everything I can to contribute to the team, and you know, I'm just I'm grateful for the opportunity. And again, it is pretty unique. It's pretty special, and that's why I understand that it's you know. I give the glory to the Lord because you know it's just very special. It's not me, and it's this position that I'm in right now. It's like to your point, it's very unique, and I'm very grateful for it.
Jared.
Do you laugh when you're being told you're the oldest to do something? Is that weird to hear?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But it's fine. I mean, I get it. You know, I feel like we do make that's a constant. You know, the age is being brought up a lot, and I just think it's funny.
Yeah. You've talked a lot about how Jrue has kind of surprised you in some ways over the course of the year, but then what it did at the end there, that's almost not surprising. That's kind of
man, that was unbelievable. That was an unbelievable play. A guy like that coming full speed, him having the instincts to do that, he is just, you know, just his instincts. He's just a winner. You know, ultimately that's what it comes down to. He's a winner, and he stepped up in such a big way for us tonight in that moment. Also when he got the and one, then knocking down those free throws at the end. He's a winner, man. I'm so fortunate to be playing next to him. I don't take it for granted.
Al, Joe said to us like kind of a turning point was the right word, but at one point kind of realizing like we're down, but there was a realization like, all right, this is going to be fun tonight. We're going to have fun tonight. You just said Joe was doing anything and everything he could to kind of get you guys going. What were some of the kind of things he was doing in that situation?
Well, I mean, we were searching for answers because they were shooting the ball so well. They were, you know, so to that point, I think Joe was just trying to switch our defenses up, matchups, different things. We were you're just desperate, trying to find something. So that's what I meant by that. He was really just, you know, and then offensively, he's putting us in different positions and doing different things. He really coached us. It was incredible, you know, just to see him going through so many progressions to so many things. And, you know, he's demanding on us. And it's something that we accept. And we're behind him, and we're trusting him, and that's what it took tonight. We kept trusting him, kept doing everything that he was asking for us to do, and we finally were able to, you know, to break through.
Abby? Al, you guys have now won 3 games in the clutch in this postseason, and like you mentioned, haven't lost yet on the road in the postseason. You said it's hard. What is it about this group that you guys are able to overcome in those moments?
I believe, you know, these past few years, you know, we've had some battles, and I feel like our group, it's, you know, we've been through it. We understand that we've had some grueling, tough series, and this one's no different. You know, this team is a very good team. They're very dangerous. There's a reason why they're here, and I know we're up 3-0, but it could have easily been very different. That's just how good of a team they are, and for us, you know, we've been fortunate, and I think definitely our experience has helped us in these moments.
Al, I apologize for one last age question, but do you ever have, for real old people, come up to you and compliment you on the fact that you're still playing basketball? And if so, how do you react to that? Like on the whole game,
all the time, yeah. No, all the time for sure. You know, I think I definitely, you know, that people are, yeah, it's not a big deal, but I would say that they, you know, some people tell me, oh, they feel, you know, inspired or like whatever. I don't know about that, but I just think that it is impressive, you know, I guess, you know, at my age and playing at this level and doing these things. But I do get that quite a bit.
Last question to Gary.
Al, you've kind of made 2 references to your faith. You know, you're a faithful man, but you usually don't do that. Is there something special about this game or tonight that's kind of made you more grateful, or is it just kind of just coming out?
No, I just think it's coming out. I feel like I'm always mindful of, you know, of that, and the people that know me, they understand, how my faith, that's, the most important thing in my life. But I do understand where I work and where I'm about, and it's not like I'm gonna necessarily bring it up all the time, but I do want to recognize it and acknowledge it because people ask with my age and all these things and how it is, and a lot of people do a lot of the physical stuff that I do, the same things that I do. They do all that stuff, and they're not getting those results, and I have promises and things with my faith that has put me in this position. So that's why I'm so grateful to be in this position right now.
Questions for Jayson? Tim.
Jayson, you guys are obviously sort of trying to dig out of a hole for a lot of that game. What allowed you guys to flip the game around the way you did over the final couple minutes?
Yeah, I think, it was one of those timeouts in the third quarter. Joe just kind of told us to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. And, whatever situation we in, that's the situation that we're in. And it's on us to figure it out. We kind of felt lucky that, we were playing as bad, per se, as we were, and how well they were shooting the ball, and we were only down, 13, 14 points on the road, and we still had a lot of time left to win the game. So, it was one of those timeouts, maybe with like 5 minutes left in the third, we kind of turned it around.
And then, obviously, that's quite the pass, like 45 seconds ago to hit Al in the corner on that three. Sort of what did you see on that play as it played out, and how much has your confidence grown as a playmaker to obviously make a play like that in a moment like that?
Yeah, I DHO, I attacked downhill, had Toppin with me, and Miles Turner. I knew Miles was guarding Al, and just reads. We always talk about spacing, making sure we were in the right spots. And I trusted that he was going to be there. He trusted that I would make the right read, and that was a hell of a shot that he made.
Gary.
Jayson, why didn't you guys kind of relent? I mean, you guys could have easily just said, okay, let's get ready for Game 4, and you guys just kept trying, even though you guys had so many chances in the fourth quarter with missed threes to kind of chip away, and it just seemed like you guys were just refused to kind of give up, or what put that in you?
We believe we believe that we still could win this game. There was a lot of time left. It's damn sure not time to give up, or even have that thought creep into your mind. We never thought that. And any time out that we had, any guy that was on their court, we knew that we could play better, and if we did play better, we would give ourselves a chance. And that was just the mindset throughout the game.
Justin.
Jayson, Jrue, questionable coming into tonight, makes the big play at the end there. Just what about his performance and his ability to show up and make plays like that?
I can't speak highly enough about Jrue, right? The ultimate teammate, competitor, obviously a champion. And, wasn't that shoot around today, he was sick, dealing with chills and stuff like that. And, we've all been there, how tough that is to fight through it. And, for him to come out there and lay it all on the line for us and, make the game-winning play essentially, especially on the defensive end. Jrue is just a big-time player, and he made a tremendous play.
Bobby.
Jayson, I know over here, you and Joe talk a lot about adjustments, the whole team does. What was that conversation like before you guys went into the zone, and what kind of impact did you see the zone have on the game when you guys went to it?
Yeah, it slowed them down a little bit. But, still, when we started to come back and make a run and take control of the game, it was just about who wanted it more, right? When we were man and zone and start the game or whatever, we didn't match their intensity. They were playing, with so much freedom and pace, and they were getting into the paint whenever they wanted. So, at that late in the game, it wasn't about making adjustments. It was It was about just making plays. Like, we had to get stops. We had to help each other. We had to get rebounds, regardless of man or zone or whatever coverage we were in. It was just a choice that we had to make.
Jayson, after Jrue steal and he gets the foul, you're kind of at midcourt, let out like a primal yell. Your coaches were all screaming. After the Nesmith shot missed the post game, it seemed like you guys were kind of lingering on the court in like a greater celebration than normal. Like, why did this feel like it looked like it felt like such a kind of mountaintop moment for you guys? What was kind of the explanation for all that?
I wouldn't say mountaintop, but you watched the game, didn't you? That shit was intense. Game 3 is always, for me, I always enjoy the most Game 3 of the series, like going into the opponent's home building. You know, it's their first home game. The crowd was electric. They haven't lost a home game since like March 18th. So we knew it was going to be tough. We knew it was going to be a tough battle. And just, it took everything for us to win this game. Being down 18, we needed every stop, every deflection, every rebound, every shot that, we made. We needed, every ounce of that. So as a competitor, when you play this game, it's a very emotional sport, right? And we want to win. And you let that out, when you make plays like that.
B-Rob, John, Jared, and final question to Tim.
You guys have obviously been in a lot of grueling series over the years, but to be able to put yourself in this position now, going up 3-0, one way up front, how big is that for you guys just in terms of getting to your ultimate goal here?
It's huge. The way that we've been playing throughout this postseason, I can't give enough credit to the coaches and my teammates. We've been up for every challenge. It's looked different every single night, but we've answered the call. And we're in a great position right now. Obviously, one win away from the finals, but we know for 1 second we can't relax. A year ago we was down 0-3, and we figured out a way to force it to 7. So, we're not looking past Monday or anything like that. We're just taking it one game at a time and knowing we have a special opportunity to go back to the finals.
Joe talked about embracing the fact that you're down as much as you were. You just talked about, he said, stop feeling sorry for yourselves. What does feeling sorry for yourself look like? When he's telling you to stop doing whatever it was that you're doing, what was it? Was it getting too caught up in the refs? Was it getting too caught up in something? What does that look like?
Culmination of all those things, right? Maybe things weren't going our way. We weren't hitting shots at the time. It seemed like they was coming down and scoring every single time, and maybe we were slow to bring the ball up the court. Or when we would get scored on, we might put our head down. Just felt like shit wasn't going our way. And Joe always talks about, it's not always going to go how we want it to or how we expect it to. And that's okay. It's okay to be down 15 or 17 on the road and still have an opportunity to win the game.
Jrue's the one guy in the locker room with the ring. You see him make those big plays at the end, especially just deciding to go and take on Siakam. You saw Siakam just on his heels a little bit and attacked. What have you seen from Jrue as far as his feel for when are the big moments that can actually flip a game, flip a title run potentially?
Yeah, I think his instincts are second to none on both ends of the floor, right? Whether it's knocking down the big three or, he had 2 big offensive rebounds. One, he tipped it in, and one, he brought it back out. And then obviously on defense, and Joe gives Jrue so much freedom throughout the game of, obviously we have coverages, but, Jrue is especially the one guy who can roam or, whatever he sees, whether there's a gamble or if he wants to switch the defense or the matchups, he has that freedom because we all trust him so much, and he's been in so many big moments that, he just makes big plays all the time.
You've obviously not hit as many shots as you would want, I guess, particularly from three in these playoffs. You got off to a huge start. They get 15 in the first quarter. Then I think you finished 5 for 10 from three, hit the big three late. Was that a concerted effort from you to try to get off to a quicker start today? And how did that help lead to the night you had overall shooting the ball?
I think just, like I said, game threes are always have been like my favorite games to play in. And I think it's important, even if I'm not, scoring the ball, just to come out there with a certain level of intensity, kind of set the tone. Because, it's a hostile environment. They're back home. The crowd is into it. So just trying to set the tone for our team on both ends of the floor, send a message. And, I never get concerned about my shots or anything. I always feel like the next one is going to go in. And, just always stick with my routine, shoot with confidence, make the right plays. And, it normally works out.
Thanks, Jayson. Jalen's talking